Hello. So today, my friend Camera and I decided we were going to make a video because we've been going through some experiences, some spiritual experiences. And whenever I talk about these experiences, everyone else says, "Oh my God, I'm going through the same exact thing." So I'm getting very much that there are a lot of people who are going through some common things relative to the energies that are happening on the earth currently. And they're happening on earth, but also in our own individual selves. And that's what kind of what I wanted to open the video with, um, talking about these energies. There's seems to be a cleansing kind of energy coming in for Mother Earth and also for us. And I believe it's a transmuting kind of energy. It's like we're leaving our lower vibration pieces of ourselves so that we can rise up to a higher vibrational version of ourselves. And so I just have, some key points that Cami and I were going to discuss. Well, first, I'd just like to just ask Cami, so what are some of the more intense or confusing or anxiety producing experiences that you've been having with yourself lately?
Okay. For those of you who don't know me, which is everybody, I'm a clairvoyant medium and I'm a shamanic healer. And I live my life as a shaman, and I have clients just like April. And what I'm getting from people, friends, myself, is there seems to be our dreams are not letting us escape what is hidden and been ignored within us for years. That's in our cellular memory, maybe negative patterns, hurt emotions. We might be remembering right now, and it's being pulled up as our the energy on the earth is raising and people are waking up, or whatever terms, or their kundalini is coming, being spontaneously awoken, or people are just opening up to their gifts spontaneously. People aren't understanding that that's what's going on with them, and it causes a lot of anxiety in your body, because now your body's perceiving energy it wasn't before, and it might be a little too much for you to handle, and you just need to get grounded and readjust and what the world is becoming. So people are getting angry, people are sad, people are having these memories that they don't know what to do with. People are having bad dreams, and we're all going through it together. April and I talked personally about some personal experiences that are going on with ourselves, and I said, hey, everybody's going through this. It's not just us. The Schumann resonance on the earth has been spiking and doing all kinds of crazy levels, which is affecting our bodies. So then if the sun is also then having solar flares or whatever, that's affecting our bodies. What's going on all around us is affecting our bodies differently. It's a different space. The air looks different. The texture of the air looks different. Sometimes time seems to be very, very different, very set up. And I notice there's days when it's almost as if we have been put under some kind of sleepy sleep. I notice everyone being like, how are we going to stay awake? Oh my God, I'm falling asleep. And I look at the animals and they're all out. So we're all going through these things together, and you don't have to be stressed out or anxietied out. You just need to understand what's going on and get grounded and get in your body. Remind yourself to unfold your true self instead of being spaced out and half open and ready to be spun by your environment. Yeah.
That's a good point. In other words, like, it sounds, well, what I'm getting is so matching what you just described. Cleansing a lot of old patterns, belief structures about myself. And I'm understanding that definitely with me personally, but Spirit is kind of leading me to believe that a lot of people are going through this, and that is the idea of self-worth.
I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm ashamed. Those are the stories of the little kid within us, our child.
Yes.
We're not that child anymore.
Exactly. I got in a meditation a couple days. You reminded me just now, and I got a meditation that the energies coming to the earth include, but are not limited to, the return to the child energy. It's a pink energy, and that's what's helping some people clear these childhood traumas and issues for those that have those. And you know, it's comforting. It's scary. It's scary. It's hard work. It was for me. And when I was going through it, I kind of thought I was going crazy for a minute. I didn't really understand what the heck was going on. You know, I was just crying and feeling all of these deeply buried emotions, and just really feeling it. And I've learned so much about myself in the past 3 days because of all this stuff that keeps coming up with about self-worth. So also self-worth, if we're lacking in self-worth, we can't manifest like we want and like we deserve. You know what I mean? Like, so I think if people find themselves saying to themselves, why can't I just get this project off the ground? I just don't get it. Why am I being sort of blocked at every step? Well, it has to do with those kinds of blockages. And I find that when I work through those things and feel them, then all of a sudden activity starts happening, you know, where there was stagnancy before. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I think that a lot of people are going through this. And I think that if we all just realize that we are all so connected, especially right now is a prime example of how connected we all are, because we're all going through the same thing. And now is really the time to focus on community with others, helping others go through these things. If we have some wisdom to give, we're supposed to give this wisdom to others to help them go through the same path. And so I'm getting definitely the sense of we all need to just really appreciate each other and run towards each other, not away from each other like we have been the past few decades. And just the sense of community, commune with your fellow beings on this planet. And so do you feel that same sense of kind of community coming up?
Yes, I feel like many of us are being awoken to and called to re-entering community. I've been living as a hermit, and this year I just really can't escape it. We signed up before we came down here to this earth to come down here and do something in this lifetime, and I feel like that whisper is being called, and people that haven't gotten up and done their little contract that they said, yes, I'm coming down here to do these amazing things and help with these amazing things. If we are being hermits and sitting in our homes, then we become a victim to self-sabotage and being stuck in loops no longer suit us or don't represent who we've become and where we're at. So having community and having some people that you can talk to can help you to stop looping, connect with others, see where they're going at, that you're not the only one, and that you don't need to be in this verbiage and resonance of shame or self-sabotage. It's time to just light up. And if you can have a hard time connecting with others, and that's a really hard thing for you, then start having a community with nature. Go find your favorite tree. Go on these walks, sit on that favorite rock, go to your favorite river. Your spirit, remember that your spirit, and you can connect with the spirit that's around you. When I moved, one time I lived for 5 years in Northern California, and I didn't know anybody. And I was someone who was a very, very social person. And the only ones that kept my sanity and the only ones that I got to know were the trees. And I thought, well, if I'm losing my mind, at least I'm not going to be lonely. And it took me many years to understand and accept, moving from a Christian upbringing, that it wasn't crazy and it really was happening, and it just it's happening on a different frequency. And when we are meditating or going on journeys with our spirit helpers, we're stepping into more colors of this world and a broader perspective of what's really in this world, which is all the spirit that's around you. So you can find community there or there. You don't have to be alone. Yeah.
I love that. I love that idea about the trees, you know? And it's funny you mentioned trees. Trees keep coming up over and over for the last few days. I keep seeing videos and various things saying to get near a tree if you can. Sit by a tree, sit against the tree. And because they are keepers of this energy, and they also act as sort of antennas for Gaia. And whenever energies are hitting Gaia, the trees are the ones that grasp that energy first and hold it there. So they're kind of like placeholders, I guess.
Mountains.
Yeah. And I think they're very grounding and very healing. And you're right. That so sounds wonderful that, if you can't, go out and be with people, start with the tree. I like that.
Yeah, but yeah. Because when we're singular and we're alone, we can also get trapped into our own prejudices and stuff, and that doesn't help us to grow or to expand, and we wind up losing a bit of empathy, and we don't act very great out in the world. We mind our P's and Q's at our job, but how are you behind the wheel when you're driving? How are you taking out that bottled up frustration and anger, or you have a partner that you can't really mouth off to, but you have all this stuff that you really wanted to say? Are you taking it out on people in line in the store? Are you being super aggressive, but then bitching about why the world is the way that it is? You're contributing to the resonance and the frequency out in your community, out in the stores, out in where you're at. And so what April's talking about is whether we want to or not, our shadow work is being put upon us, and we're all being called to do this shadow work, which is being responsible for our mouth, our energy, and our actions towards each other and towards strangers. You know, you don't know who's in that other car, what their life story is, what they've been going through. Hey, maybe they just got a shit ton of tickets, so they're slowing down because they don't want another ticket. Maybe maybe they have a child in the back seat. Maybe they're old. Maybe there's something wrong with their body. Maybe they have had something terrible going on in their life and they're out of it because their mind is somewhere else. We have to have compassion for each other and some tolerance and get a grip. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. You know, shadow work, that if there's one thing that it seems that is so common to everybody that I have personally watched on YouTube and reading and stuff, it is shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have never done so much of that work in my life as I have done in the past 5 days. I mean,
it's a way of life. It's living a shamanic life. You know, it doesn't have to be called shadow work. Just being conscious to your words. Your words are seeds, and this is magic in our world. Our world has so much magic, and now the manifestation of our thoughts in our world is almost instant. Like, so you're wondering why something isn't coming to you. You're like, I want this, and you're manifesting it. It's going up into the astral realm. 3 days later, it's coming back down. But then within those 3 days, you've changed your mind to doubt. And now you're self-sabotaging. So now you're sending a different message up. Oh, well, maybe not. So are you blocking? You know, so have the patience, and you just gotta just wait and have faith in yourself and faith into what you're manifesting, and let it come. Let the flow, start building the flow, and then letting it go, letting it happen so you can jump up onto it instead of like Wu Wei. Wu Wei is not going against the current, going against what isn't there. You're like, oh, this isn't really happening, so let's adjust. You know, like a rock in the river, you're not going to be out, oh, I'm going to go up over that rock. The river's just going to go around the rock. And, you know, you don't have to be stopped by what's coming down in your flow, and that, yeah, it's an intrusion. Notice this is, and why is it happening? Everything happens for a reason, and go acknowledge that and go around it. Was it an omen? Was it a sign? What were you thinking about? What are you going through? You know, the Spirit's always talking in these different ways, and it might not always be negative. That one thing that you were like, oh, I really want this, but you're trying to force it to happen. Maybe that isn't your highest good or your highest destiny or a highest path for what you were praying about, what you were asking for. Maybe it's just going to blindside you and come to you in a completely different way. It's working with the flow and noticing and discerning, instead of thinking that you're being punished or, you know, going into a past story. Accept your brilliance and accept that you deserve what you're asking for. And if you're feeling it so passionately, then you should know that you're ready for it. So you have to be patient to allow it. So distract yourself with a few things to keep it going. Fake it till you make it. Put on some music and some headphones when you're getting in that mindset. You cannot get out of your mind, do something physical. Work out, walk, put on some music and dance, draw, anything, get out of it. Readjust your field, change the field, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you know, you have, you're my teacher in that regard, because I mean, I am the spokesperson for undoing your own dreams. Like, that's just so rings true what you said, because I was so that person that was like, okay, I want this, please give me this. And then I wouldn't trust it. I didn't even know what that meant. And I would just like worry about it. Oh, I'm not going to get it because I'm not doing it right. And, I would put all my energy then into the worry aspect of it. And then, of course, that whole energy just that I had built up just kind of drops out. And I think what you said is so important. Trusting, and I think that has to do a little bit with sovereignty.
Yes.
Because when you realize that you are the one creating your world, and when you realize that you are the one that has the power, you are the one who can make any choice that you want, then that's the trust that you are that awesome that you can make this happen, and then let it go. It go. And that's the key, is trust, is being able to trust and let go. And I think that's really the energies that all of these topics that we've been talking about have the same sort of thing: trust and let go, and things will come to you. Trust that you're being cleansed of the things that are no longer serving you. Trust that what you're trying to manifest is going to manifest. Trust that what you're feeling is real. Trust that you don't need any validation from somebody else to validate what you are feeling and doing. That's kind of what I'm getting. So
on the little bit darker note of that, Spirit is telling me to bring up also to trust that you know what is going on in your home. Trust that you know when you're being messed with, and trust when you know that there's some energy that needs to get cleaned out of your home, or if there's any attachments bugging you at a specific time every night, or you're having a little bit of people being influenced in your home, and arguments that are starting to just kind of disrupt out of somewhere. Did someone pick up something at work or here or there? Maybe you need to sage them off, or Palo Santo, or go have them take a shower or a bath. For those that have the husbands and that just don't believe in it, you can ask them to go take a shower. And that just to bathe off that energy will shake it off too. But for those of you that are really sensitive and you're starting to feel things, I wanted to remind you that maybe it's not yours to own. Maybe your gifts are kicking in and you're being empathic, telepathic, or you're merging into your family or friends or coworkers. So remember, is this me? Where was I before I started getting consumed by this random negativity and these random anger, anxiety, or emotions that might be popping up? You know you. So stop. And then think, is this mine? Is this mine to own? Was this mine? Get some breathing back into your solar plexus. Do that for like 30 seconds or a minute. Get your brain chemistry reset. Get up and go wash your hands. Go take a drink of water. Go step outside and ground on the concrete. Not asphalt, but if you don't have grass, you could do it on the concrete. Stuff like that can help. Sage sound can break up energy in the house, so you don't have to look all woo-woo in front of your family. You can have some bells. Those change up the field. You can sometimes I just randomly walk by. I'm like, ooh, feel like little spiderwebs or something, like you're walking into a little feathery feeling. Whew, the air's
Yes.
a little thick. It's a little stagnant in here. Let's lighten it up. Okay, get these for like $10 or something. You know, things like that. Moving water, sound. It doesn't always have to be smoke. Yeah, things like
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. With whatever works for, your environment, it doesn't always have to be the same. We are the modern myth, and we're writing it as the modern shamans and the modern light workers and this homo luminous that we're becoming. It's like so let's use our positivity to change the field and generate. It doesn't have to be stagnant. And it doesn't always have to be a big production. It can be like little simple things. You could put some salt water in a spray bottle, spray some of that, breaks up the energy. If you have some real super funky stuff going in your home, you can get like those baby jars or whatever. I love those. Or little glasses of water, and put like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of sea salt in that. I would put it in where's the funk happening in the house. And I would have it in my bedroom, 2 to 4, depending on how funky the energy is or thick. In the living room, if that's the main room in the house. And I would find the 4 directions in that living room. What's closest to north, south, east, west. Put those up. And then wait for a couple days. You'll start seeing it kind of gather along the rim and along the sides. It'll start to crystallize and look gross and thicken up. So then you have to get rid of it. You don't pour it down your sink, and you don't empty it on your property. You're going to have to scrape those crystals and get everything into a nice little jar or something. And you're going to have to, if you can, go to fresh water, yay. Most of us don't have that opportunity, so go take it to an outer drain or something out in the curb. You're going to ask Mother Earth to transmute the energy of this and to bless it and regenerate it into positive energy to put back in, out. To be responsible, don't just pour it out. You ask your spirit helpers to help you, and ask Mother Earth to transmute and transfigure that into something else, into positive. And let her, she can handle the most heaviest of energies. Anything that's super, super heavy, she can handle it, and she can transmute it. Yeah. But be responsible for that, Yeah. These are things you do that are quick and not a big, and any of us can do it.
That's so good to know. I'm certain that so many people are going to find these tips that you've just given them so helpful.
I was there too. I mean, and I have my moments. I'm like, I have a lot of fire in me. My Mars is in Aries and stuff, and I'm Mexican Italian and that. But it doesn't matter what your sign is and what your nationality is. You're responsible for your own actions. And so when I absolutely cannot contain it, because say the energy is really intense out in the common consciousness, and everyone's in a bad mood, or there's a grouchy vibe going on, and then I'm fired up. If I know that I can't watch my P's and Q's, if I know that I can't get totally in my body and totally grounded, I know that it's not going to take much to set me off and to want to, it's human nature. So what do? I'm not going to go to the grocery store. I'm not going to go out for dinner. I'm not going to go put myself in those spaces where I'm being a jerk. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Or I have to leave. Sometimes I can't. If I'm not totally grounded and putting up a protection shield before I go shopping, and I start picking up on everyone's energy, and if I get spun and I lose track of who I am for that much, and I'm just taken over by the energy, then all of a sudden there's a look on my face, and my partner has to say, do you need to go to the car? Here's the keys. You know, are you going to handle it? Can you make it for the rest of it? Are you going to make it? And when she says, are you going to make it? I either realize that I've been spun and I snap into it and I get sovereign, or if I'm just can't get a grip, I get the keys and I go to the car and I listen to the music and wait for her to come out. It's like you have to do what you do, or you're picking up on that negative energy of that jerk that's behind you in the car that's just riding your butt. I live out in the country, so what I do is I can't handle the energy, because then what is it going to do? After so much of someone going F, 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 and sending you all this negative energy, you're getting psychically whacked. Oh my God, you either need to open up your energy, like I picture it like a net or like a honeycomb. I picture my body just like opening up with a bunch of holes, and I need to let that negativity flow through me, because I don't want it to attach into me. So I either need to open up, or I need to pull over and let that go around, because I'm choosing now to participate in it. Am I going to allow it to affect me and trigger me or turn me down to that level? Or am I going to go, that's not where I want to be? So now, yes, it takes me a little bit longer, but if it's someone really aggressive, I'll pull over. Go around me. Go, have fun. Drive 1,000 miles an hour if you know. It's you know, think about all those things are choices that we can make. All those things are how we can keep our sovereignty. What triggers you? Don't sit there and go, no, I'm so bionic, and then turn into Hulk. You know, eliminate yourself if that's the best you can do. And sometimes for me, that's the best that I can do in that moment. So it's just, you know, make your little adjustments so that you can still be a higher frequency and a higher vibration, instead of lowering yourself down to the muck and the mud that's out there. So we either are going to make it thicker, or we're going to lighten up the soup and change the recipe. Yeah.
I love that. I think that's a beautiful way to end this video.
Yeah.
And, you know, I hope that this video and, you know, what we were talking about helps others who are going through the same thing. And Cami, why don't you go ahead and, do you have a contact email or something in case somebody wants to book something with you?
Yeah, my website is psychiccanvas.com, because they say that life is a story, but along with the story comes symbols and imagery and pictures. So you're a painter too. You know, we paint our own images and paint our own life. We paint the color into our life. So psychiccanvas.com. And you can reach me on Facebook in my private group, psychiccanvas.com. I don't really do a personal page with just my name for people I don't know. Yeah. And my
awesome.
Oh, yeah. And phone number 2, where you can schedule an appointment, is area code 541-246-4008. Yay.
Excellent. And you guys, she's a marvelous artist. You need to go to her site and check it out. It's amazing. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. And thanks to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. And we'll talk to you soon on the next video. And if you guys have any ideas, let me just say this. If you guys have any ideas for future videos, or if you guys have questions on anything that we've discussed, what we're trying to do is, if you have questions, we want to gather those questions and then make a video addressing those questions. Either a live video or a regular video. Perhaps we'll go live sometime as well. But just to let you guys know, so if you have any questions for Cami or from Camera or for myself, just let me know down below in the description box.
Yes.
And that's about it. All right. Thank you.